You excited, Mel? It's hard to tell.
Oh, this is probably the greatest thing to ever be shown on TV, ever.
You all right?
Woo! Best day of my life.
Good old number 19 was a two-time 20-game winner and two-time AL Pitcher of the Year. He was a World Series winner and a Hall of Famer. He's also the only pitcher in White Sox history to make 5 consecutive All-Star appearances until now. In his 7th season, Chris Sale will stand next to the great Billy Pierce in the history books and make his 5th straight appearance in the All-Star Game Tuesday. But before heading out to San Diego for the Midsummer Classic, the White Sox All-Star has a date with the Atlanta Braves tonight. Yet another beautiful night for a ball game at U.S. Cellular Field. This is game number 1 of a 3-game series as the White Sox welcome in the Atlanta Braves for some interleague play. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. The Sox have won 5 straight series for the first time in 2016, and the rotation depth has been a big reason.
Everybody's looking for number 4 and 5 in the starting rotation and hoping that they can get the job done. But lately for the Sox, it hasn't been a problem, as 4 and 5 in the rotation has been just wonderful. James Shields and Miguel Gonzalez over the last 4 starts combined, 3-1, the ERA 169, and all 4 of them quality starts. So these guys are getting it done, as is the big 4 in the bullpen. Zach Duke, Dan Jennings, then Jones and Robertson all getting it done at 9-4, 26 saves, 258 this year. And you can see when the starters are getting it done and the guys come in from the bullpen and they get everybody out, well, you're liable to win 5 straight series.
You're liable to win 14 games as well before the All-Star break. Chris Sale going for 15 tonight.
Chris Sale has been magnificent. And with a team that's just barely over 500, he's 14-2. Last 5 starts, 5-0, the ERA 386. As you can see, with 40 strikeouts and 35 innings, everybody worried about his velocity. Well, don't worry about it, because he's got 97 in his back pocket, a crackling slider. And Chris Sale headed to the All-Star game with a very good chance to start it. His opponent, Matt Whistler, a talented young man out of the San Diego organization with a very good curveball. 3-8 this year. It's not a good team. His ERA is 4.16. This guy making his 17th start is going to be a very good one, and a worthy opponent for Chris Sale tonight in this, a big series. Only 3 left before the All-Star game.
Sox had the league leader in wins, Chris Sale, going for number 15 against some former mates. There's AJ with Bobby Thigpen. How about Tyler Flowers, Sale's former catcher, and Gordon Beckham just off the DL. A reunion at U.S. Cellular Field.
White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
That's Chase Bryant with a pregame concert, the country music singer whose grandfather Jimmy was Roy Orbison's keyboardist. As the story goes, Roy Orbison showed up at Jimmy's doorstep and said, "You want to go make a record with Sam Phillips?" He said, "Yep." Off they went, and here is Chase making his own country music career, and he nearly got it to the plate without the bounce.
He threw a curve. That was actually a pretty good pitch. I like the rotation.
Snapped off the pregame breaking ball. Always useful. Sox and Braves, game number 1 of a 3-game series. Atlanta has been better the last couple of months. Here's the lineup for an offensively challenged team at points this year. Nick Markakis has had a great career against the Sox and also had a pair of home runs last night in a win at Wrigley Field.
The Cricket Wireless defensive setup and how Robin is going to line him up behind Chris Sale. It's Melky, JB, and Adam in the outfield with Frazier, Anderson, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield. Deanna Navarro gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Going for win number 15 is ERA, just under 3. There you see the strikeouts, almost 1 an inning, and the walks a very small 24. The umpires for the game tonight. Crew chief Dale Scott behind the plate, Bob Davidson at first, Lance Barrett at second, and Dan Iasoni is at third. So a beautiful night for baseball.
Chris Sale trying to join a big name club with his 15th win before the All-Star break. David Wells, Pedro Martinez, Brett Saberhagen, Roger Clemens. That foursome together is what Sale's in pursuit of today against the Braves from the National League East.
If you really love baseball and pitching specifically, watching Chris Sale is like a clinic each and every time out.
First pitch is out of the zone. Ball 1 to Chase Darno in his 49th game for an Atlanta team that's last in the majors, hitting .235.
Chase has got a chance to be a pretty decent player. His brother Travis, also a major leaguer. Chase has got good speed. And Chris has missed the zone twice.
As you said, he doesn't walk many. 24 of them compared to 118 strikeouts. As there is strike 1 of the game from Sale. Chase Darno has bounced around a little bit. He's been with the Pirates, came up through that organization, then spent a brief moment or two with the Philadelphia Phillies, and now here with Atlanta. Now 2-2 as Sale goes up high with a fastball at 93.
You really have two choices with Chris Sale on that high fastball. You either lay off or you miss it. Maybe you pop it up, but that's about it.
2-2 for Darno. Came in with a fastball, and Frazier completes the out. 5-3 in our opening out this evening.
What you loved about that, and it was just pretty much all fastballs, was 92 away, 93 up, and then when he had to go get him, 96 in on his hands. And so even if you guess fastball, you certainly can't guess the speed.
The average on the fastball this year has been around 93, but as you said in the open, he can rock it up to 97.
Whenever he wants to use it, it's there for him.
The return of Gordon Beckham to Chicago. Just off the disabled list yesterday. In his 33rd game this year, he's had some hamstring trouble, landing him on the disabled list twice.
And that got a piece of Dale Scott, as Gordon Beckham does what a lot of right-hand hitters do to Chris Sale. They swing at a pitch that is nowhere near the strike zone.
And the umpire is always in play with Chris on the mound. Strike 3. That was quick.
Well, Gordon was guessing ball. And that one was right down the middle. So when a guy has 3 pitches and variations of each and every one, you can't really guess with him, because if you do, this happens. You take a fastball right down the middle and go have a seat. So apparently Gordon guessing anything else but what he got.
2 outs. Freddie Freeman, the batter, the Braves' best hitter so far this year, with a drive to left field. Melky Cabrera's back, and Freddie Freeman has left the ballpark. He's hit lefties very well this year, and Freeman goes deep in the first inning.
15 home runs, 33 driven in, and Freddie, who's got big power the opposite way, showed it to Chris Sale. A Ford home run replay, gets a first ball fastball. It was out away, and he put a charge into it. This is the one guy in the lineup, and again, with 2 outs, nobody on in the first inning, one guy in the lineup, you can't allow him to beat you. This is not a situation where you would think about pitching around him. He just got a good fastball and hit it out.
Braves on the board first, and strike 1 to Nick Markakis. You said it, he's got 15 homers. The Braves as a team have 48 home runs. That's last in Major League Baseball by a wide margin.
Nick Markakis not going to hit that sweeping breaking ball. That one well outside for the man who came up with Baltimore, had himself a very good career.
Breaking ball for strike 3. A couple of 3-pitch strikeouts, but in between, Freddie Freeman hits a solo homer. 1-0 Braves after a half inning. Present this lineup tonight. A little bit different today. Brent Laurie DHs. He's in the 6th spot. Carlos Sanchez, his first start since coming up about a week ago. And J.B. Shuck in that 9 position has turned the lineup card over very well.
Let's take a look at the Cricket Wireless defensive setup. It's Darno, Inciarte, and Markakis in the outfield, with Garcia, Ibar, Beckham, and Freeman in the infield. They're familiar. Tyler Flowers behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Matt Whistler. On for his 17th start, 18th game, 3-8. Deceiving record. He's got very good stuff. 76 strikeouts, 101 2/3. Still a very young pitcher. Has a good curveball. Will cut it, as well as using a slider. And normally, a much better than average fastball,
which he uses quite a bit. So say the numbers is here, and there is a fastball high to Tim Anderson for ball number 1. Whistler, who last threw at Fort Bragg in that game last weekend. Ball and a strike for Anderson.
Whistler came out of the San Diego organization, where he was one of their prized prospects. He's got a chance to be a very good pitcher, especially if Atlanta decides to put together a good team.
Slider for Anderson, and he went around. Ball and 2 strikes.
That's a good slider. Tight break. Threw it in the right spot.
Swinging strike 3. That one stayed up on Whistler. Anderson couldn't find it. 1 down.
This is a bad slider. It got the job done, but if he throws it up there, he's going to have some problems. Tyler Flowers wants it away. It hangs right over the middle of the plate, and Tim just swings through it. So it's not only the good or great pitches that get you. Occasionally, you throw one like that and get away with it.
So 1 down for Adam Eaton. 27-year-old outfielder takes ball number 1. He and Anderson combined, since they've moved into 1 and 2 in the order, are hitting .307 before that Anderson strikeout.
Adonis Garcia at third base has a rocket for an arm, but he's not a real good fielder.
Came up with the Yankees in the outfield and has moved to third.
And some say would be better served as a DH before it's over.
Three balls, no strikes from Whistler to Eaton.
You'd love to see him aboard because it's going to be gentlemen start your engines on Tyler Flowers. If you can steal a bag, if you've ever heard of a stolen base, you will be going.
There is ball 4, 1 on, 1 out, and they'll test Flowers, who has caught stealing only one opposing possible base thiever in 34 tries.
You could say he's throwing in bad luck.
Let's see how quickly the Sox decide to get the motor running today.
Tough on the first pitch as Tyler looks over into the dugout because it's an easy pitch to call a pitch out.
Eaton bluffed, and it's ball 1 to Abreu.
Maybe just checking on how quickly Whistler gets rid of it. Now, he didn't exactly use a slide step. So that gives a base stealer an extra step and a half.
Fouled off by Abreu. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jose, who's been on base in 29 of his last 31 games.
Nick Markakis has had some difficulties throwing the ball, and there's a lot of people that think he should be shifted to left field, but he's played right field his career, and Sox will run on him every chance they get.
Darno in left has been an infielder in the past as well, so not your typical outfield arm out there.
However, Ender Enciarte has a great arm in center field. He came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's a good one, although he's had periodic leg problems.
Strike called. 1 and 2 on Abreu.
Well, you would think he would see the slider here, which is a good pitch to run. See what Tyler Flowers wants. Bob Davidson in the background as a first base ump. We'll call his share of balks.
Oh boy, 2 and 2.
Whistler came very close to a balk that time because there was very little, if any, hesitation. He whistles one up and in. That one just missed the helmet.
Abreu resets. Eaton at first. There he goes. Jose, a ground ball and through. Eaton was on the go, and he speeds into third.
Some well-timed movement on Adam Eaton, and just out of the reach of Eric Ibar. He would have stolen second base easily, Ibar, who went on the disabled list, and since coming back is in much better shape, has covered more ground recently, and is actually starting to hit the baseball a bit after a miserable start.
He's one of the worst regular players in Major League Baseball the first couple months of the year, but has definitely improved as Melky Cabrera fouls the ball off.
Because of the history of Ibar, there's a lot of teams that would still be very interested in a guy that has the defensive skills that he has. And perhaps moving to a team that's in a pennant race might help a lot of things for Eric Ibar.
Straight back, 0-2. A visit to our microphone.
Melky needed a ladder on that one, able to foul it off, but it was a good 4 inches up and out of the zone. Take a look at the location, Honda pitch tracks, and Melky goes up and fouls it back.
Two strikes on Melky.
Breaking ball here. Let's see if he throws in the dirt.
A little bit higher than maybe he wanted.
I think at 0-2, you just assume bury one, and then you have to have supreme confidence that your catcher is going to be able to block it. And still is a very young pitcher. Might be difficult for him with a tying run 90 feet away to bury a breaking ball.
On the ground and through into left field. Eaton scores. We're tied at 1.
The pitch he fouled off was just a prelude to another high fastball that he took through the left side. So he's driven in 40. It's another high fastball, and Melky goes up and gets it. There's not a lot of left-hand hitters that can hit high fastballs. They usually love the ball down, either down and in, down and away, but Melky took advantage of that one, and just like that, the game is tied.
What do you think it is about left-handed hitters not being able to get up there?
You know, I don't think anybody's ever really been able to quantify exactly why that is, but in baseball's past, left-handers were known as low ball hitters and right-handers as high ball hitters. That was a product as much of anything else as the outside chest protector. Now that all the umpires wear the inside chest protector and don't set up behind the catcher, they set up in the slot. There's more low pitches called, so right-handers are starting to become low ball hitters, probably the last 20 years.
Back toward us.
Yeah, you really don't want to get involved with that one as it came back.
That was close.
As they say, it came back with a little hair on it.
As someone who's been smoked by a ball previously, no thanks.
You have been.
Yeah, AAA's rough.
Really?
Uh-huh. You?
Never got hit at any level above the waist with any line drive or anything else.
Not even in the booth?
Nope.
Good for you. The rare safe broadcaster.
Not too many come back up this high, actually.
High in the air from Frazier. Eric Ibar made it a little bit chancy. 2 outs. Picks to click tonight. You, the fan, are involved now via WhiteSox.com. Crew goes Jose Abreu. You all say Tim Anderson. Steve's got Eaton, and I've got Carlos Sanchez. You can vote before each game at WhiteSox.com/pick to click and decide who you think will be the next White Sox position player of the game. Picks to click tonight. You, the fan, say Tim Anderson. You, all of you, on Country Music Night.
Some good music before the ball game.
Stand By Your Man was playing about an hour before the game.
I remember Stan.
Stanley By Your Man. It's up high to Laurie, who's on a 9-game hit streak. 13 for his last 34, up to 256.
Not only the hit streak, but the fact is he's been hitting the ball very hard, and he's been hitting it in every direction.
Ball and a strike on Laurie. Sox have a run on the Melky Cabrera RBI single. A couple of 2-strike hits for the Sox with Melky and Jose Abreu. There are the numbers during the hit streak for Laurie, who looks like he is going to demolish his career high in doubles. He's 7 short of it before the All-Star break. No advance, 2-2.
Melky was trying to take off at first base. Daryl Boston is reminding him that you have Jose Abreu at second, so if you do take off and Jose's not running, it's going to get very crowded. Take a look at Melky. He starts to go and then realizes that that ball didn't get away all that far, and he does have a man in front of him.
2-2, 2 out. He gets him swinging. Strike 3 on another high pitch from Whistler. Inning over. Sox strand 2, get 1. We're tied after 1. Charlotte, Justin Morneau on a rehab assignment did something that he normally doesn't do very much in the major leagues. He has 22 career major league triples in 13 seasons, and he tripled against the AAA Braves in Charlotte. Morneau on a rehab assignment, trying to come back the next maybe 1-2 weeks. We'll find out from former bank teller Dan Hayes, our CSN insider, has joined us. What do you have on Justin Morneau?
Well, Robin Ventura described it as tricky as to when he might return. Now, granted, there's so many factors at play. Is the elbow healthy? Is he ready for Major League pitching? Is he comfortable for Major League pitching? Now, when we talked to Justin Morneau a week and a half ago, he said maybe between 20, minimum 20, probably 30 plate appearances. Well, tonight he's 2 in. He's got 15 so far. On Monday, he will join Birmingham as the Charlotte team heads into the All-Star break. So he potentially could have as many as 30 plate appearances by Wednesday. So it's
ground ball to third. Frazier throws him out. What a way.
So there's a chance that you could see him Friday. But at the same time, does his elbow hold up? And Morneau said early on this week, it held up well the first day. And he's played tonight's his 5th straight game. So that's gone well so far too. But as Robin Ventura pointed out, guys usually get 50 plate appearances in spring training. He'll be at 30. Is his timing there? And that's what Morneau said. Right now he doesn't care about the results. I'm sure he loved the triple, but at the same time, is his timing up to speed, and will he feel comfortable?
I'm not sure he loved the triple. I don't think he wanted to run to third in a AAA game, but he'll take the result, right?
Probably, yeah.
I think one of the most important aspects of this is that if this team was losing consistently, there might be some pressure to bring him back. Right now, we have to be concerned about his health, and then does he have the amount of swings that he would like and the team would like him to have. So, you know, might be, who knows, it might be 40 to 50 at bats, and then they'll bring him back.
Right, and that would possibly fall there during that Seattle series. And Rick Hahn was encouraged so far, but as he said, it's 4 days. We'll see.
So your feeling is they're still kind of getting a sense of when he might come back? What's the timetable?
That's a great question. I mean, we asked, and as of Monday, Robin said Anaheim was overly optimistic, but at the same time, he didn't dismiss it today. He just said it's tricky. So it really comes down to whether Justin Morneau feels comfortable or not. And you know, he wants to get back as quickly as possible, but at the same time, that timing aspect is key.
Dan, thank you for stopping by. Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great stuff as always. Dan Hayes, you can follow him, our White Sox insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your every day. Shop The Great Escape. That ball's drilled to left center field by Tyler Flowers, and he has taken his former battery mate deep. "3-1 Atlanta."
Seven home runs, 20 driven in for Tyler Flowers. That was a get ahead of him fastball, but unfortunately, it had too much of the plate. The Ford home run replay, that ball was down. Chris wanted it on the outside part of the plate. It wasn't there, and a line drive rocket out of the ballpark.
I asked Chris before the game if he felt like facing his former battery mate would be odd or would even be a detriment because Flowers knows his sequences. And Chris said, well, those were the sequences when he was calling my games. So it's going to be different with somebody else. Flowers was on that one. Frazier in at third. Retires Ibar, 2 away in the second inning.
I don't think there's really any advantage to a guy having caught a pitcher, especially in this day and age with all the video. You can watch at bat after at bat after at bat, and Tyler just got one. Chris wanted it. He wanted it on the outside corner. He got it with too much of the plate, and Flowers, who had the game-winning hit in the ball game last night on the north side of town, drives that one out of the yard to untie this.
A lengthy affair across town last night. Inciarte is looking directly back at the plate umpire Dale Scott, which you don't see go over terribly well.
Especially for young players. This ball had the whole plate. I mean, this is not really that much of a debatable issue. Now, Navarro caught it and took it down out of the zone, but that first pitch was a strike.
0-2. There goes Inciarte. Third strikeout for Sale, but the Braves have a couple of homers. Tyler Flowers makes it 3-1 Atlanta.
Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Provide your guests with the ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience in the Home Plate Club or Magellan Scout Seats. These two premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, employees, friends, or family. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating. Braves lead 3-1 on a couple of home runs. Two-run shot for Tyler Flowers. Solo blast for Freddie Freeman. And that's the anatomy of an Atlanta lead as Navarro takes a strike. The Braves have gone through a managerial change this year that you may have heard about. Freddie Gonzalez was fired back in May. Brian Snitker, since joining as the manager, a longtime Brave staffer, longtime minor league manager Brian Snitker. This team is 20 up and 29 down, which is significantly better than the season record overall.
I think anytime you're named interim manager, you're auditioning for the spot of manager. And so all he realizes is he's going to go out there each and every day and try to take a young, inexperienced ball club, try to win as many as he can, and then see what happens with the interview process.
Down the line and foul for Navarro.
Whistler has kept the ball in the ballpark for the most part. 23 2/3 innings without allowing a home run. That dates back to June 16th. Our Dan Jennings with the longest active streak at 64 1/3.
Beckham at second, retires Navarro. Sox will need some runs tonight, trailing 3-1 against an Atlanta team that doesn't homer terribly much. As we told you earlier, 49 homers now, and that's more than 20 behind the 29th place team.
What they are finding out, as so many have before them, is that this is a very lively ballpark.
Ball one to Carlos Sanchez, who's getting his first start since coming up a week ago.
Switch hitter whose numbers are not quite as good from the left side. One of the things I'm sure that Sox hitters will realize the second time through the order is that Whistler's not throwing a straight change and not changing speeds a great deal on his fastball.
Sanchez, left center field. This ball's carrying into the alleyway, and Carlos Sanchez is into the hit column for the 5th time this year. He's going for 3. Sanchez is down, save.
Some heads-up base running on what appeared to be a 2-base hit. This ball crushed into the gap. It's a low fastball. It's out of the strike zone. And he takes it the opposite way. So Inciarte, who does have the better arm, says, I'll take this one. It goes double E8 on the throw in.
J.B. Shuck, a chance to drive him in, and he takes what's called ball 1. That was a catch that might have bollocksed up the umpire. Dale Scott saw Flowers reaching and didn't give the strike.
A lot of times when a catcher sets up in a certain spot and he misses his spot, even though it's in the strike zone, if you reach across too far, you're not going to get the pitch.
Popped up by Shuck. Short center field, right center, and it falls in between 4 Braves. Second base is unoccupied, and Shuck is in there.
Got to be ruled a double, as this is one of those I got it, you take it. Inciarte could have made the catch. Markakis certainly could have made the catch. It was a more difficult play for Gordon Beckham, and at the end, nobody took command. So a lazy fly ball. Doesn't look like it's going to be far enough for a sacrifice fly. And as everybody peels off, and that includes Ibar at shortstop, there's nobody there to make the play. Then it gets by Markakis, and it goes as a 2-base hit. JB notices that Now the closest man to second base is Lance Barrett, the umpire, and he's not going to take the throw.
If he did, there would be an appeal by the White Sox. Inside to Anderson, ball number 1. And for an Atlanta team that played some pretty good baseball last night in order to beat the Cubs, this has been a rather fringy second inning. Well, Tim Anderson saw a steady diet of sliders in that first inning to the strikeout on 4 pitches. According to Fangraphs, he's seen 21% sliders in his major league time. That's the 18th highest percentage of sliders in Major League Baseball.
Well, until he learns to lay off, you'll see some more.
Ground ball sneaking through. Anderson singles to left, runners at the corners. He tripped up around first, and he's back. Wide turn for Tim Anderson, and he squealed the brakes.
The last time to Anderson, Whistler got away with a hanging slider, and this time he doesn't. That is a hanging slider, even though it's on the outer third. It's going to bring Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, out from the dugout. Garcia can't get to it, winds up diving over the ball. And JB, no sense going, putting runners at the corners, and now perfect situation for Anderson to take off at first base as Dale Scott going out to suggest to Roger McDowell that we move along this affair.
There goes Roger, former Major League pitcher in his own right.
Roger was a good one. He had a magnificent sinker. He said he really didn't get that sinker until after he had elbow surgery. He said he didn't have the sink on the ball, and for whatever they did to repair it, I suggested a few more guys go to that surgeon, and maybe they would have the kind of sinker he had, which was a dandy.
The sinker surgeon. Anderson 2 for 2 in steals as a member of the White Sox. He's at first, Shuck at third. Some hazy defense in this second inning on balls in play from the White Sox. Anderson goes. Eaton lays down a bunt third base side. This is touch fair, and Shuck is safe. Whistler swept his glove, tagged it in fair territory, and made not a great decision.
No, that's a mental mistake on the part of Whistler, because had he been out here to realize what happens when the ball gets to the dirt part, especially as it's spinning off the grass, he would have let that ball go. Adam Eaton, I'm not sure how he got this one down because it's well inside, but it turns out to be a perfect bunt. This an excellent job, and Adam Eaton falls flat in the batter's box as Whistler, not recognizing the spin coming off the ball when it hits the grass, goes to the dirt. It's going to be well foul, but that turns out to be a great break as J.B. Shuck finally locates the plate.
J.B. got shucked on the way home.
Adam Eaton with a base hit, yet another infield hit, and a run batted in.
His league-leading 22nd infield hit. And now Abreu takes ball number 1. The Sox are rolling on a weird inning. A pop-up that turned into a double, a foul ball that became an RBI single. What's coming next? Eaton at first, Anderson at second, great speed. There they go. Abreu swings and misses. It's a double steal for the White Sox.
And although it's going to be charged against Tyler Flowers, this is on Whistler because he doesn't look back twice to second base, and Tim Anderson gets a tremendous jump. Look at the left hand on the bag well before the tag, and sometimes young pitchers forget to look back a couple of times, especially when you get a very fast runner at second base.
Eaton, by the way, behind it was about 40% of the way to second base when the pitch came. Tipped foul by Abreu, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, this Atlanta team is just having a tough year. At 29-57 and 21.5 games back of Washington. I mean, you're seeing it here tonight.
You don't think they're going to catch him?
I would think, yeah, they still have a chance. Like the chance that you and I have of playing in the NBA next year.
Towering fly ball from Abreu. Inciarte in center will holster the weapon. The Sox get on the board again, and they lead for the first time tonight at 4-3.
Well, Inciarte had a mental mistake, and this inning has been replete with both physical and mental mistakes. Instead of getting the ball back in and making sure that J.B. Shuck J.B. scores easily. Inciarte looks at it, says, yeah, I've got it. Inning over. Well, not really. Adam Eaton takes advantage of it, and he goes into third base. RBI number 51. Wow, what an inning so far.
That moment when you see the run scoring and you're still holding the ball. Gift-worthy. 2 out. Eaton at third, and Melky Cabrera to the plate. For strike one.
Jose with his 7th sacrifice fly. Nobody else is anywhere near him on the ball club.
That 7th sacrifice fly now ties Chris Carter of Milwaukee for 2nd in Major League Baseball, 1 behind Francisco Lindor of Cleveland. Let's see how this goes. What do you say now? Garcia's there. Inning over. Sox get 3 on 4 hits. J.B. Shuck, a double. It's been a whiz-bang first 2 innings here tonight. The Sox have 4 runs, Atlanta with 3.
It's officially a seesaw affair.
It's just in. Ball 1 to Darno, who grounded out to third in the first. The Braves, a team that doesn't homer very much, they've got 2 homers against Chris Sale, who, by the way, you look at his run total for the year. He's given up the 3 today and 16 home runs. His ERA coming into play today was sub-3. Most of the runs scored against Sale have not come in those big innings.
But one of the reasons why he does give up a lot of home runs is he has excellent control. And if you know a guy's going to be around the plate a lot, you're going to give up the long ball. You just have to hope that they're mostly solo shots, as Freeman's was in the first, but not so with Tyler Flowers' 2-run home run last inning.
Leadoff walk for d'Arnaud. First walk for the Braves today. So Gordon Beckham, the batter. He struck out looking back in the first on a fastball pretty much down the middle. Line to left. Beckham is on. 2 aboard for the Braves here in the third. And here's the man who started off the scoring tonight, Freddie Freeman.
Over number 15, coming on a fastball away in the first inning, and Freeman, who is normally one of the few sources of power in this lineup, shows it to you there. Freeman early in the season got in a collision at first base, and he had some rib difficulties that he tried to play his way through. And although he did play his way through, that injury really cost him.
Line drive. Anderson plays it on a hop with the tag thrown to first. Oh my goodness, they did it again. That's the 3rd triple play of the year for the Sox. Who needs probability when you have the 2016 Chicago White Sox? The rookie goes 6-3 for the 3rd triple play of the year for the White Sox.
Well, once he catches this on a short hop, then it becomes fairly easy after that. Stumbling across second base and then going to first. d'Arnaud, then the force out of Beckham, and then Freeman by a step at first base. The 3rd triple play of the year in just over half the season.
You gotta be kidding me with this.
And truly, just about the time you believe that you've seen everything there is to see, you see a team that gets out of a few jams with triple plays.
All right.
That's pretty amazing.
All right, so the first one goes 9-3-2, 6-2-5. The next one
that's your
goes
routine triple
Oh
play.
yeah. Next one goes 5-4-3. This one goes 6-3. I mean, what is left in the tank for this team defensively?
Bill Wamby and an unassisted triple play.
Yeah, that's really all that's lacking.
That was back with the Cleveland Indians of yesteryear. I believe Wamberganis was the last name.
We are going to get on this and find out the last team that turned 3 in a season. I mean, unreal.
Let alone 3 in just over half the season. But that has a tendency to shut down a rally.
Something about the South, too. The first one's against Texas, the second one against Houston, this one against Atlanta. The Sox are drifting eastward with their triple plays.
Wait till the Marlins come up.
Into the stratosphere and fouled from Frazier. That'll be in August. Sox will go down to Florida. Thing is, though, all three have been turned at home. It can't be a road triple play, can it?
It's the one thing left out of the season. Freddie Freeman, who hit the ball hard for the second time, one hops himself into a triple play.
Last team to do it was the 1965 Cubs to turn 3 in a season.
Before that, the '64 Phillies, who, besides the 3 triple plays, were known as one of the greatest collapses in pennant race history.
Frazier reaches out to poke it foul, and the count remains 3-2. Well, the reason they collapsed is they didn't turn enough triple plays.
2 starting pitchers had something to do with it.
Elevated first base side. Freeman runs out of room. Still 3-2. Well, they're getting more and more routine as well as the days go by. The Sox triple play theater open for business once again. Steve, I got to ask you, does this happen all the time around here? This is new for me. Now my belief is that every season the Sox turn just a boatload of triple plays.
Well, really, it only happens when there's a couple of men out. So, you know, you can really relax when there's only one man out.
Or hypothetically 2 out. Be very difficult.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody out there who can run the probability of 3 in the first half of a season. Well, for pre-All-Star break. Another foul ball from Todd Frazier. The home run derby participant Frazier just announced.
Yeah, a lot of pitches so far from Matt Whistler. He's probably not going to go too deep into this game.
Again, shipped foul by Frazier. He'll see a 12th pitch. On the ground at third, Garcia is there. We told you that there were 2 triple plays earlier in the year for the White Sox. This first one came in April against the Texas Rangers. Started with Adam Eaton, then came to the infield, and a whole lot of dancing going on. Desmond out, Prince Fielder hung up. Saladino cuts it off. And out number 3 from Todd Frazier.
And the second one much more conventional. Frazier, Laurie, and Abreu, a relatively easy 5-4-3. Not near as complex as the first one, especially ending the way it did with lots of throws.
Since the 1965 Cubs, it has been more than 50 years since a team turned 3 triple plays in one season, and this season still has a lot left to the finish line.
And let's take a look at tonight's triple play. Short hop, and then the tag, and then the trip over the bag, and the throw to first base to cut down Freddie Freeman. just as easy as 6, stumble 3.
All stumble. Slider for Laurie, his second strikeout, 2 down in the third.
Third strikeout. And that slider was a good one. Perfectly placed and ahead in the zone, no chance to even make contact.
Whistler looking for his first clean inning of the night after the Sox got him for a run in the first and 3 in the second.
Very difficult for a pitcher to have both a good slider and a curveball in the same evening. You can possess both of them, but usually one is a lot better than the other. Tonight the curveball looks good from Whistler. The slider has been inconsistent. He's hung a few more, but he has 2 distinct breaking pitches. And against Whistler, Yanner Navarro has been pretty good. He came in perfect against him, but for the ground out in the second.
Swinging strike 3. And after a lengthy duel with Frazier, quick work of Laurie and Navarro. 4-3 Sox after 3. Our winner 2 days ago took our Frank Thomas grilling book, so we've added to the Sox Math Book Club. There's Animal Farm, the George Orwell classic. Possible win for you. People have said Sox Math's too difficult, so here you go. Hashtag Sox Math. Current number of interleague wins for the Sox this year. Add Robin Ventura's jersey number. Have at it. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer wins the prize.
Boy, you and I could do that.
You got it?
No, but I could do it.
So first game of the series, it'll be a little easier.
Yes.
Second game, more difficult. The third game, even more difficult. And here's another long one. Nick Markakis has just tied the ball game. His third home run in the last 2 days in Chicago.
That ball was down and out of the strike zone, and Markakis, who came to Chicago with 2 home runs all year, has hit 3 in the Windy City. Our 4th home run replay, and this ball is down, and Markakis, who was a big run producer at various times in his career, now hitting 4th after spending a lot of time leading off for Baltimore. This is his 2nd year with Atlanta. Had a big year last year at 296, but only hit 3 home runs all of last year. That was 612 at bats.
Second 3 home run game allowed for Sale. First one was in June against Kansas City. He's got strike 2 against Jeff Francoeur. Wrap to third. Frazier off the bag. takes care of Francoeur.
Here's our Quicken Loan Rocket Arms, a comparison between Chris Sale and where he is in his career and Billy Pierce in the 5 years where he made the All-Star team. You see the record. Billy Pierce with more wins and more losses. The winning percentage, that goes to Chris Sale. ERA, similar. And that's elite company for Chris Sale. Billy Pierce was not only a great guy, he was a wonderful pitcher. And there is a look at number 19.
And talking to Chris Sale about that All-Star selection and what he told people is genuine. He is very excited to be there. His family's going to come along with him and look out in the dugout. 2 strikes on Garcia. You played in an All-Star game. It's a chance for you to go against the top-notch players in the game. That is a fair ball and a nice hurdle job by Dan Iasonia, the umpire. Garcia to second with a 1-out double.
Garcia can hit. Not much doubt about that. His 9th double of the year. He reaches out. This ball is a strike, but not playing him as a pull hitter. The toughest part of this for Dan Iasonia was making sure he didn't get hit with the ball. That young lady, not concerned that the score is tied right now. And no concern whatsoever about the tie score.
Dreaming about an untied score. Breaking ball strike, 1-1 to Tyler Flowers, who took Sale deep in the 2nd inning. I mean, at the very least, 1-2 on Flowers. At the very least, Tyler Flowers can tell his teammates what Chris Sale likes to do. At the very least, right?
Well, look, it always helps to have former catcher of a pitcher that you happen to be facing to give you a scouting report. And in the 2nd inning, he reaches down, gets a fastball that Chris tried to get ahead with, and he deposited it out of the park for a 2-run homer. At that point, it was 3-1 Braves. If Chris wants to, that face-high fastball is there for strike 3. Especially if he decides to throw it 96, 97 miles an hour.
Ball and 2 strikes. Another foul ball from Tyler Flowers.
Able to fight that one off, and Navarro wanted the ball up. Tyler just able to get a piece of it. See Navarro where the glove is. He wants a face-high fastball. And Flowers able to see another pitch.
Flowers, who started his career in the Braves organization, was traded away and now back with Atlanta. Went to junior college in Florida. And he's hit by the pitch. 2 on, 1 out for Ibar.
Tyler Flowers hit for the 7th time as this one sweeps down and in, and he can't get the left ankle out of the way. It's more like the shin, and Chris a little unhappy with himself.
It's tough to get either ankle out of the way when you don't move. Flowers takes one for the team.
Well, his job was to get aboard, albeit painfully.
Ibar grounded out last time. That was to third base. Ball one from Sale. Double play is in order with Garcia at second, Flowers at first. Slider low, 2-0 for Ibar.
Ibar's grounded into 8 double plays this year. The overwhelming majority of them have come as a left-hand hitter, however.
Little conversation at the mound. Carlos Sanchez came over to talk to Sale. Navarro as well.
That was a good straight change. One of the better ones that Chris has thrown. He had Ibar well out in front of it. Good motion, perfect spot. Yields one of those.
2-2. What's he got?
Another straight change would look awfully good.
A slider for strike 3.
He buries this one low and in. And Ibar goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Chris Sale. That was an opportunity to actually swing and get hit by the pitch, but he managed to keep his back foot out of the way.
Well, Chris is not beyond enjoying hitting a batter and striking him out, that's for sure. Mark Trumbo is on the list.
Torrey Hunter is on the list.
Inciarte struck out in the second inning. There's a breaking ball low. Chris Sale's slider, according to Brooks Baseball, is moving vertically more than ever in his career, Steve. What do you make of that?
It is. Getting on top of it more.
Frazier at third with the pick. And there is out number 3. Leadoff home run, Nick Markakis. And we're tied at 4 after 3.5.
by T-Mobile. There are the final two to go to the All-Star game. Michael Saunders, who's had a very good year, as has Brandon Belt. So both first-time All-Star selections. Any way you get there, it's a thrill. It will be for Saunders and Belt.
Fans can vote for whoever they want out of the five, but it is nice to see a couple of first-time players get in the last spot.
Saunders has had a terrific year, and Belt's playing with a team that has a great year usually every other year. San Francisco Giants came into action tonight, 6.5 game lead over the Dodgers. The Dodgers still without Clayton Kershaw and no timetable to when he comes back. And Toronto comes into play today, 2 games back of Baltimore.
Broken bat for Sanchez. Beckham throws him out. 1 away.
Time now for our Lowe's home field stat. And it's J.B. Shuck, including tonight's game, hitting .333 over the last 14 home games with a couple of home runs, 5 doubles, including that one tonight, and 8 runs batted in. So when he hits safely in 12 of the 14, you're getting it done. He's getting an opportunity to play more and hitting the ball much better.
1 out for him. And a strike called from Whistler. Well, you know, with Brandon Belt going to the All-Star game in San Diego, they might have to open the San Diego Zoo to him. He's the one with the nickname Baby Giraffe for the Giants.
Every time we went to San Diego and I came up in the National League West with the Giants, I would go to the San Diego Zoo.
Every time?
Yes, it was a wonderful place. St. Louis Zoo also was a wonderful place to go. You can tell the social life I had in those days, but the zoo was terrific.
It was for the birds.
Ooh. I like the Greater Ape House.
Check swing. Oh, he did go around. Strike 3. Shuck punched out on the appeal.
Dan Iasonia said he went far enough. JB doesn't think so, and we'll take a look. And well, one of those flip of coins, and the coin went Whistler's way.
2 gone. Tim Anderson, the hitter. So you went to the Ape House quite often.
Greater Ape House. And then the big cats. You remember Andres Galarraga, don't you?
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
Cat?
Right next to the ocelots and the lynxes.
It was fun.
The Braves are playing Tim Anderson with a big hole left of second base.
Well, they're also giving him up the middle because they're playing him as a dead pull hitter in the infield, which is somewhat surprising. But you would have to figure with that particular defense, they're going to throw him a lot of off-speed pitches, and when they go in, they're going to go way in with the fastball.
Slider away, 2-2.
He's going to see a lot of those. You get him on, he's going to steal second base, so it'd be really nice to get him on.
Tag to center. Inciarte back, and he stops just short of the wall for out number 3. Anderson gave it a run. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Whistler. He's retired 8 in a row. We're tied at 4. Locations throughout central Iowa. Ames is a lovely place. Spent some time there during basketball season. Here's your Sox math answer. 3 interleague wins plus 23 for Robin's number. We're going for speed today. 26 is your answer. Jake Ranola is your winner. You will get a message on Twitter. You will pick a prize. We may send you the prize that you want. We may send you another prize. That's the fun of Sox math.
We're also going to show you a very special prize that we have up here.
You procured a very special prize today.
That will come into play.
Inside 2-0 on Darno, who walked last time.
And it will come into play, and our fans will have an opportunity to actually participate on the other side of the equation.
Popped up, foul ground, third base side. Navarro, Frazier. No play.
This is a very handsome golden Chris Sale bobblehead. Now, if you were to earn that, you would have to check in 50 times on the app that announces that you're actually at the ballpark. You check in the ballpark app. You do it 50 times, you get one of these. There are very few made. We're going to give you an opportunity with a contest that we are going to come up with. We're going to tell you the dates of it. You're going to have to write the most interesting Sox math question for Jason to evaluate, and the more complex, the more interesting it is, the winner. The most complex or most interesting as judged by Jason Benetti. So if you don't win, don't get mad at me. It's all his doing. We'll get that golden statue, which is something that very few of your friends and or relatives would have.
Fouled away, still 3-2 on Darno. You're not going to help with the judging on this?
No, I'm going to put it all on you so that everybody hates you if they don't win.
Thank you.
It's the least I could do.
Very least. Outside, Darno walks for the second time.
He's the only Brave hitter that Chris has walked. Did, however, hit Tyler Flowers.
So 1 on, nobody out, and we'll let you know when to send in your question and where to send in your question. But we'll put the gold statue on layaway for the moment, or hold it in abeyance, as you may say.
We've got it right here, packed, ready for the contest.
Throw to first from Sale, who has said he feels as locked in this year, in this moment, as much as he has in his career. This game does not show that, but he feels with his defense around him and this group, he feels like they've elevated him to a different spot as this ball gets lined to right. Beckham is on with his second hit against Sale. 2 on, nobody out for Freeman. Last time we had this situation, the Sox turned a triple play.
This is a tough night for Chris. He just doesn't have good stuff. And on a night when you don't have good stuff, you certainly don't want to walk anybody. So Freeman's been up twice, hit the ball hard twice.
Home run to left, triple play to shortstop. A little bit high on a slider from Sale. Ball no strikes to Freeman. And the point about Sale is he's had great stuff throughout his career, but the players around him can sometimes lift the boat some more. And he feels very comfortable with this clubhouse.
It's also been very good inner defense and good defense all the way around. So you don't feel like you have to strike everybody out, which at times in the past had been a problem with Chris. The general manager, John Coppola, says pretty much they will deal just about everybody, but not the man you're looking at. They want to try to build around Freddie Freeman.
Wave and a miss. There's that breaking ball down and out. Former second round pick of the Braves. Freddie Freeman, who really struggled in April this year, but has hit .379 since June the 13th.
You have any rib problems at all, you're going to have all kinds of problems swinging the bat.
Into the atmosphere. Anderson for out number 1. Triple play is out of order. Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on these Atlanta Braves Saturday, July 9th, 1:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get a White Sox cap presented by the Private Bank. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or by calling 866-SOX-GAME.
That's a handsome hat, and it looks especially good when you don't wear it.
What do you think? On top of the headset?
Yeah, no, that's not a good look.
You don't like it?
No, I like the hat though. This is not Bruce Bochy size, so you can't get it over your headset.
The Kevin Mensch skull version.
It was a nice shot at it. Markakis is really miscast as a middle of the order hitter, but they really don't have anybody else to do that. Despite the fact that he's hit 3 home runs in 2 days, he is probably better served as a leadoff hitter as he was in Baltimore in his later stages there. I mean, at one point he was a prolific run producer. He drove in 112 runs. And then slowly they just moved him up in the order until, for the most part, he was a leadoff hitter maybe the last 6-7 years with the Orioles.
A couple of former Orioles on this team. Brandon Snyder's not in the lineup today, but he was an Oriole coming up. And all the former White Sox make this quite an interesting group for Atlanta this year. Just off the plate, 3-2 on Markakis.
Twice Markakis drove in over 100 runs. First time 2007. The last time 2009. As Jeff Francoeur waits patiently in the on-deck circle.
3-2, lefty. Golfed foul. Markakis stays alive. Well, Chris Sale against lefties this year, they've only hit .207 against him, and the Braves are really hamstrung by a lack of right-handed hitters that they can use. They have 2 lefties on the bench. They have 3 lefties in the lineup today against Sale. On the ground, slowly hits. Sanchez gets one. Anderson sneaks through and nearly turned a double play.
That was a really solid play for Carlos as he was ranging to his left. Looked for a moment like he was going to be satisfied with taking down Markakis, but he had enough time, and Anderson did not get his footwork where he needed it to be, because obviously that was a slow developing play, but they did get the force out at second.
Rarely do you see the player come toward the pitcher's mound, turning a double play possibility.
Yeah, his footwork just got all tangled up because of the slow chopper.
Francoeur to right field. This is trouble. Into the alleyway off the wall. Darno's home. Markakis waved. The throw to the plate is not in time and bouncing away. The Braves get 2 and an extra base. Francoeur to third, and Atlanta takes the lead back.
Chris Sale was not backing up the plate, and it cost him a base. Francoeur reaches out on a fastball, drives in runs 19 and 20, and it goes double E4. One hop throw to the plate, hard to handle, and then Chris in the middle of the diamond.
Well, now The Atlanta Braves seem to be the kings of Chicago the last 2 days. A lot of time remaining in this one as Garcia whips through a 1-0 pitch. He's 2 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a double. Bash to left. Melky can only look up. It's off the fence. Garcia for second. He is saved.
Very close play at second. It brings Don Cooper out from the dugout as Chris Sale is getting hurt tonight. High fastball. And Garcia, who's 3 for 3, rifles this one to left field. Melky with a good throw. The ball gets away. And that's what allowed Garcia head first into second base. So it's a 3-run Atlanta lead, and Chris Sale is having a very difficult night against a team that was not hitting the baseball very well coming in.
Atlanta with a .235 team average. That was last in Major League Baseball, but did have a win yesterday at Wrigley Field in a makeup game as Robin Ventura's on the horn. I think he just said, "I got Beck up."
And because the bills have been paid, they got the message. Beck is up.
Tyler Flowers deep to right. And another extra base hit coming for Atlanta. Flowers has been on 3 times. It's 8-4 the Braves.
That one right down the middle, and Tyler Flowers with his 9th double of the season, and this one getting a touch ugly. Too much of the plate with that fastball, and Tyler Flowers enjoying his return visit to U.S. Cellular Field.
Ibar's 0 for 2 and a called strike. 3 straight doubles for Atlanta. Francoeur, Garcia, Flowers, and a 4-run inning for the Braves. Check to swing, nearly got hit. Ball and a strike on Ibar. There is the aforementioned Chris Beck tuning up.
Chris Sale's line is brought to you by American Sale, and it has not been pretty. 4 2/3, 10 hits, 8 earned runs so far, with a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. A very rare tough night for Chris Sale.
Especially in this last stretch. He had won 5 straight games. He had allowed in those 5 straight wins 15 total earned runs. It took him 6 starts this year, Sale, to allow 8 earned runs total to begin the year. Off with Ibar, but Atlanta has retaken the lead in a big way. 8-4. Sox turn to Eaton, then Abreu, and Melky Cabrera after this. Thanks, Chuck. 8-4 your score. The Braves with the lead, and Adam Eaton shows a bunt, takes a ball. To lead off the bottom of the 5th inning, we have some updated news for you on 3 triple plays in a season. Some further research suggests that the Oakland A's and Baltimore Orioles, both in '79, turned 3 triple plays in a year as well. And you, Steve, are recollecting those 3 triple plays for the Orioles side.
I can remember it as if it were yesterday.
It wasn't yesterday.
I have no recollection whatsoever of 3 triple plays. Now it's Boston and Oakland, so they've announced 3 or 4 different things.
Adam Eaton, a shot to center field. Inciarte back at the wall. It's out of here. 8 may not do it tonight. Adam Eaton sprinting around the bases. The Sox have 5.
Adam Eaton puts a charge into it. Sox have 5. Adams got 5, and he drives in his 28th. So his perfect night continues. We told you it was a lively park tonight. We're not kidding you. Our Ford home run replay. It's a fastball down the middle, and Eaton takes it out.
With that home run, another generous donation from the Alex Nellius family in loving memory of Ursula. And Adam Eaton in batting practice today told Todd Frazier, he said, they invited me to the home run derby, but I didn't want to show you up, so I declined their offer.
Well, he's leading him 1-0 tonight.
Into the shift, Abreu grounds to Garcia for out number 1. You know, with Carlos Sanchez in AAA, there's not a whole lot of rocking the baby boy to sleep.
But it's back on.
It was sorely missed.
Sorely.
Melky, the batter. For strike 1.
For the first White Sox run, E-Click Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families. And Adam Eaton scored the first run. And the Milkman drove it in.
Two strikes for Melky Cabrera after a pop out to third last time after that RBI single to score that first run. A 9-iron to left, and d'Arnaud braces for its arrival. 2 outs. So here's Todd Frazier, who is 0 for 2 with a pop out to short and a ground ball to third. Mentioned his participation in the home run derby. He will be the 2 seed against Carlos Gonzalez of the Colorado Rockies in round 1.
That's going to be a pretty good battle. Carlos can hit him.
Ball number 1 to Frazier. For more on that home run derby and Todd Frazier, here's Sierra Santos. Hi, Sierra.
Hey, Jason. Yeah, Todd Frazier heading to San Diego to defend his title. And for the 3rd straight year, his brother Charlie will be pitching to him. Now, last year, when Frazier got the word that he was selected to participate, Charlie was in Mexico on vacation. He had to actually email him and say, hey, man, you got to get here. So Charlie actually took a flight from Mexico back home, then to Cincy. The very next night, he was pitching to his brother in Cincy. Now, it's truly going to be a family affair for the Fraziers. Earlier today, Todd took out a tiny little all-star uniform. That's for his 2-year-old son. He said, home run derby on Monday, SeaWorld on Tuesday. So mixing in a little pleasure on Dad's business trip. Jason, Steve?
Well, it's always been a family thing for the Fraziers. Thank you, Sierra, for that report. And I think we're going to have another Frazier home run champ with son Blake at age 2. Todd, Charlie, and Jeff, the 3 brothers, run camps during the offseason in Toms River, New Jersey, where they grew up. Three and 2. That ball's hammered. deep to left field, and Frazier has left the ball yard. Solo home run. That's number 24 as he gets primed for the Derby.
Bada bing, bada boom. Down goes Frazier. Sorry, folks, but I promised him I would say that when he hit his next home run because no one had ever done it. There is the home run ball and our Ford home run replay. Todd Frazier gets a fastball inside and takes it way back in preparation for the home run derby.
Second homer of the inning. Laurie takes a strike. During batting practice, Frazier hit a couple balls toward third base. Tyler Saladino robbed him of a quote-unquote hit both times. So Frazier started trying to intentionally hit the ball at Saladino to get one past him. And as he was doing it, trying to chop the ball to third, he was hitting balls out of the ballpark. 10, 15 rows deep. He was pull side homer. And there's another one for Frazier in game as Laurie goes down swinging to finish the inning. Eaton a homer. Frazier a homer. 8-6 your score. Long way to go tonight and a lot of offense erupting.
Sunday afternoon, the first half comes to a close as our Sox face Atlanta in the series finale right here on CSN Chicago. Coverage begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by the Koalas family of dealerships.
Second shortest outing of the year for Chris Sale, goes 5 innings, and the Sox have called upon a different Chris.
Chris Beck coming into the ball game on for the 6th time. ERA a touch over 4. Too many walks per innings pitched. So with good enough stuff to be very successful in the major leagues, Chris has got to find the strike zone. If he does, he should be fine. And you got a bunt candidate in Ender Inciarte, one of the better enders around.
He tags this ball to center field. Long run for Schuck, and it's over his glove. Another Atlanta double. That's number 5 tonight.
Inciarte was one of the top prospects in the Diamondback organization, and this is a high fastball, and he gets up on top just barely over the glove of J.B. Schuck. So an ominous way to start the 6th inning after the Sox answered the 4 in the 5th by the Braves with 2 solo home runs of their own.
Here's d'Arnaud, and that haul from Arizona was pretty strong for Atlanta. Highly thought of young shortstop Dansby Swanson came over in the trade that sent Shelby Miller to the Diamondbacks. Inciarte also part of that trade. .95 for strike one from Beck to d'Arnaud.
But Dansby Swanson, because he was the first pick in the draft, became automatically the first #1 prospect for the Braves. And they have another very good prospect by the name of Ozzie Albies. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Ozzie Albies, who actually was demoted to work with Swanson. And I say demoted because he was in AAA. But because they view Swanson and Albies to be their shortstop second base combination for many years, they moved him down to AA, where they can work on the coordination that a shortstop and a second baseman will have. So Albies, who probably enjoyed playing at better ballparks, gets to play in AA for a while.
.02 is low, a ball and 2 strikes. Braves are in the Southern League in AA, as the Sox are, and same league in AAA as well, the International League. Sox are in Charlotte. Braves are in Gwinnett County, not far from Atlanta. Inciarte at second. 1 and 2 for d'Arnaud. There goes Inciarte. d'Arnaud shoots it to right, and the Braves are back on the board as Eaton chases it down. Doubles for 5 of the last 6 Atlanta hitters, and the Braves lead by 3 again.
Inciarte scores on that anyway, but Chris Beck has got to look back a couple of times because Inciarte was literally halfway. Watch him. He's halfway before the pitch is thrown. And d'Arnaud driving in his 10th run of the year. Doing what he's supposed to do. Hit the ball to the right side. This one turns into gold. And it's lots and lots of doubles.
Beckham has 2 singles. And that was another big lead for d'Arnaud at second.
He can run also. And I think Tim Anderson is coming on to tell Chris Beck to take a couple of looks back here.
Fouled away, ball and a strike for Beckham.
Gordon was going to the right side with that swing, knowing his job is to, at the very least, move along d'Arnaud to third base.
Left side, Anderson tumbles on top of it. And it's an infield single for Beckham, who's 3 for 4 in his return to Chicago.
Well, I would say the 2 former Sox players are getting it done tonight. Gordon Beckham with his 3rd of 3 singles, and Tyler Flowers with a 2-run homer and a run batted in on a double. So here comes Robin. And it's going to be Dan Jennings to face Freeman and Markakis. So as Beck walks out, Jennings comes in. We'll step out and be back after these messages.
$5 by purchasing an Abreu 4-pack. Each pack includes 4 upper box game tickets, 4 hot dog value meals, and a parking pass. Abreu 4-packs are available now for all Thursday home games. Visit WhiteSox.com/Abreu to order yours today.
Our Hyundai caller to the pen is Dan Jennings, and this is a big outing for him. 3-1 ERA, 177. He's got to stop the bleeding and subdue these suddenly mighty Braves. They got first and second, nobody out, 1 in, and a 3-run lead.
Jennings has allowed just 1 earned run since the calendar turned to June. Inherited runners have been, and look out over at third base, Bo Porter.
Well, that was a rocket, and he almost caught that one right in the helmet. You're not thinking about a left-hand hitter going there. He's looking out at second base, and he gets down, but that ball is actually by him when he got down. I'm not sure he picked that ball up, and he is very fortunate.
Former Astros manager Bo Porter, that was real close. Bo's pretty happy that went sailing into the seats.
I think he's going to keep at least one eye out on Freddie Freeman, because that first one just maybe came an inch from really doing him some damage. So first base coach Darryl Boston, informing former manager and current third base coach, he heads up.
1-2 on Freeman, who hit into the triple play in the third. What do you think about a ground ball to third here? Go 5-4-3 one more time just for fun.
The only problem is Frazier's too far off the bag for the triple play, but certainly we could use a double play.
Fouled away before Bo Porter nearly got the Marie Antoinette routine. He's starting to say about the inherited runners. Jennings has seen 21 inherited runners this year. 9 have scored. That's 43%, a number that he'd like to have down. And starting with tonight's game.
Well, I want to see another triple play. Line it right at Abreu. Because if the ball is hit on a line behind the runner at first base, he's not going to be able to get back to the bag. His natural tendency is to go to second.
Got a possible rundown.
Then you got Darno at second base. He's probably going to be off the bag, but first things first.
That's what this season has come to. We're breaking down possible triple plays. 2-2. Didn't go. 3-2.
That was a good call by Dan Iasonia, because on a fastball low and in, Freeman did check his swing.
Throw to second. Just safe. Darno sliding back in.
Pretty good play as Anderson quickly moves behind him. And that one is not on a signal. That's called the daylight play. If you can get to the bag, you flash your glove, the pitcher sees it, and then you go try to get him.
Payoff pitch. Freeman bounces it foul off his body. Well, I have to say, pick to click wise, the fans took Tim Anderson tonight.
Yes.
He turned a triple play.
Yes.
It's going to be tough to beat the fans.
Yeah, except for
tonight.
A base hit, 2 runs batted in, a home run, a stolen base, and a walk.
You are such a shill.
Except for that. Well, I'm sitting with a big goose egg in the brand new scoring system.
Well, we'll send you your trophy for the first half of Picks to Click. 3-2 from Jennings to Freeman. Here it is. There it goes.
Tried to throw that inside fastball by him by taking a little extra time in the stretch. But Freeman was able to stay alive. So at the very least, it's going to be a 9-pitch at bat.
Jennings in after Beck. All three reached against Chris Beck. Jennings trying to smooth out the inning. 2 on, nobody out. Ball 4. So here is another left-hander, Nick Markakis, who is not as adept against lefties as Freeman is.
3 grand slams, 260 with the bases loaded. That's how he'll come to bat. With nobody out here in what's shaping up as a nightmarish 6th after a not too friendly 5th.
Left field, long run for Melky. He's in place. A nice first out. No harm done.
Hey fans, when you think mortgage in Chicago, think eClick Lending. Whether looking to purchase or refi, never pay lender fees with eClick Lending. Visit us online at eclicklending.com to lock in your low rate today. eClick Lending. Point, click, and save.
9-6 Atlanta. Double play in order. Jeff Francoeur, who doubled in 2 last time, is the batter. Softly placed for strike 1.
We're at the bases loaded for Francoeur. Not too good. Celebrated his major league debut 10 years ago yesterday. And he's hitting with the bases full of Braves.
He was just 21 at the time.
A nice article where he was talking about the fact that in his estimation he believes that 90% of the players in the major leagues would like to see more severe penalties for performance enhancing drugs. And I'd have to say that if you can get that by the Players Association, I think it's a pretty good idea. He's just talking about the integrity of the game, but there's another aspect that people don't realize.
Launch to left. Melky reels it in. Darno tags and scores. The Braves get 1. Could have been more. 10-6.
3 driven in tonight by Francoeur, now has 21 and turns into a fine play by Melky, who almost had this take off and go over his head. Still a sacrifice fly for Francoeur. Might have been 3 driven in, but for the fine play by Melky. The other aspect of what Francoeur was talking about was that it's not necessarily the numbers that you accrue by using performance-enhancing drugs, which he said is just out and out cheating anyway. But it's the fact that you're taking the spot of a guy who gets beaten out for a position in the major leagues for someone who is taking PEDs. And he said he knows some friends of his that never got a shot at the major leagues because they could never make a roster, beaten out by guys who he knew were taking performance-enhancing drugs. And that's an aspect of them that a lot of people don't think about. But the guys who never play in the major leagues because of that think about it each and every day.
Especially in that era, with home runs being so important. those types of players that couldn't make rosters basically were double counted against. Everybody wanted the home run, and those guys couldn't do it and couldn't even get into the majors if they wanted to do it.
Yeah, it became slug ball, but the irony is that the drug testing and the penalties have never been stiffer than they are now, and yet home runs are back in abundance in the major leagues this year. Now, they've tested the baseball over and over again. There's a lot of people that think maybe it's wound tighter than it's been in years past or something along those lines. Maybe something with the maple bats, but they've had maple bats for a while now. It's just one of those things. Maybe it's a little warmer around the major leagues the last few months, but whatever the reason, they're hitting more home runs this year than in a long time.
You're about one step away from talking about melting ice shelves with it being warmer around Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, that could very well be. I mean, they're looking for answers as to why. That could be one of the reasons. Because you're having some pitchers with remarkable years. I mean, just complete shutdown years. And yet, the era of small ball, which we thought we were moving into, just hasn't been there this year.
Well, when you look at the teams with the lowest home run totals before the All-Star break, and the Braves were threatening that, you look at those teams, the top 5 other than Atlanta were from 2011 and 2012.
Yeah. And all of a sudden now it seems to have reversed. Players have made the accommodation to not using performance-enhancing drugs, but yet they're bigger, stronger, quicker, and faster than ever before in this generation, and we're seeing that play out this year, dramatically play out. So if you're thinking of winning something without home run hitters, think again.
On the ground, Anderson bobbles in, it ricochets, and Sanchez couldn't cleanly scoop it. The Braves get one more. Beckham across for the 11th run tonight.
You would think that will be a base hit, and if it is, it'll make Garcia 4 for 4. It is a base hit. It's the heel of the glove, and then Tim Anderson with his bare hand trying to corral it, then with the glove trying to flip it, and then Carlos Sanchez trying to pick it up, but to no avail.
Here's Tyler Flowers, who's doubled in a run and blasted a 2-run homer against Chris Sale tonight. This is the danger of a team that's having a rough year coming in right before the All-Star break. You never know what they're going to offer you.
Oh, coming off for them, what was a dramatic win in extra innings across town against the Cubs last night.
And I know that's backwards to say it's dangerous to have Atlanta coming in. You'd rather have Atlanta than, say, San Francisco or whomever it might be. But it's a house money season at this point for the Braves. And if they let her rip, they're going to have nights like this at some point.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was against Chris Sale, who went 5, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits. So Chris Beck, with a tough night also, came in, no innings, 3 runs on 3 hits, closed the book on him.
Served to third, Frazier the flip, and the inning's over. Atlanta, though, picks up 3 more runs. 11-6 the Braves after 5.5 of the series opener. they do when we're not home?
Yeah.
This summer, the secret is out. I'm reading. From the humans behind Despicable Me comes The Secret Life of Pets in theaters now. They're talking about you when you leave is what happens. Sorry, we spoiled it for you.
Well, we've got Joel De La Cruz coming into this. Original property of the Brewers. He's made a couple of starts. This out of the pen, ERA 5.25. 16 hits in 12 innings. Tyler Flowers goes out to have a word with him.
How come he's got a space after the day, but not after the La in his jersey? It's De La Cruz.
Maybe they ran out of spaces.
Well, he can fit Saltalamacchia. He played there.
Yes, but it starts under one armpit, goes all the way across his back, and ends at the other armpit.
Here's Navarro. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Strike number 1.
Probably because it's small e, small a. Anytime you see it spelled like that, you see only one space.
In the air, left center field, Inciarte for out number 1. Oh, happy golden birthday to you. Should we give him the Chris Sale statue, the golden statue?
Well, he's got a nice golden fedora there. How about that? Very nice. No, this is just a regular fedora.
From Sinatra night. 1 out for Sanchez, who doubled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Sox are trailing 11-6. They got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 more in the 5th on a couple of homers, but Atlanta has some big numbers on the board, only scoreless in the 3rd tonight.
It's been a long and winding road for Joel De La Cruz, originally signed with the Brewers in 2006. Then played in the Dominican Summer League in 2009 before joining the Yankees organization. And just this year, on June 29th, he made his major league debut.
Whacked foul by Sanchez, 2-1.
So a study in persistence finally pays off for De La Cruz.
It's a bullpen that's been on the shuttle between here and AAA for most of the year. Southpaw makes some friends on the concourse.
Delighting the fans, and I don't know if we've mentioned to you that we have a whole host of Southpaw memorabilia for our prize shelf.
That was a Twyla Tharp Southpaw dressed for country music night.
Really? Very nice.
Conway Twitty paw. 2-2 on Sanchez. Yeah, we've got the pennant, the Southpaw autograph pennant, and our fedora as well.
That's a really good looking Sox cap, by the way.
Yeah. Tomorrow's game.
Yep.
The giveaway. 1:10 start time for that as Jose Quintana will face TBA. Sanchez rocks it to right center field, and Ciarte, what a play! He ran that ball down as well as you can. 2 out.
And Ciarte has big speed. Now, he's had some leg problems this year, but he's entirely healthy these days. Takes away at least a 2-base hit from Carlos Sanchez, who had a 2-base hit in the 2nd inning.
Well, Inciarte last year, 29 defensive runs saved. That was 2nd best in Major League Baseball. And he is 2nd best this year in outfield assists as well. He's got a very strong arm, as you mentioned.
He's got 9 of them, but they trail Adam Eaton by a wide margin.
Ball to strike for Shuck. Yeah, the decision continues to come from opposing players to run on Adam Eaton. And it's not the best choice.
At your peril.
Two balls and a strike for Shuck. Well hit under Freeman's glove, and Shuck has his second knock of the day. Talking about the outfield assists for the year, Adam Eaton leading Major League Baseball with 13, then Inciarte, and that three-way tie, Braun, Marte, and Rasmus.
So the two best throwers are in this ball game tonight.
We will see them for the series. Inciarte in center, Eaton in right, for the most part since the injury to Austin Jackson, as the Sox try to cobble together a two-out rally in this sixth inning.
Was moved along during the course of this year. You find some teams in contention with devastating injuries. Matt Harvey lost for the season, electing season-ending surgery. If that wasn't bad enough, Noah Syndergaard leaves the ball game tonight in the fifth inning with an injury.
Yoenis Cespedes as well.
Yeah, so the Mets, who are right there and battling, I think this latest round of injuries might be awfully tough for them to overcome.
Three back of the Nationals starting play tonight in the National League East. Nationals leading that game at Citi Field 3-1 in the seventh. Cleveland has won 10-2 over the Yankees today. Tigers lost 6-0 at Toronto, which is currently a wild card team, and the Blue Jays are starting to really hammer people with the bats again. Strike in the upper reaches of the zone to Anderson, 2-2. Fair ball, long throw, Garcia whistles it wide. Anderson's off to the races, so is Shuck. Second and third, two out in a wild and woolly game.
We'll have to see if it's a base hit and an error or just flat out E5. And it does go E5. So Garcia has it in foul territory. And this one just skips over the glove of Freddie Freeman. It stays in the air. He's out.
So Adam, who's been on base all three times tonight, he's walked and scored, singled and driven in a run, homered and stolen a base. So 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored for Eaton. Great opportunity to chisel away in the sixth. One and one for Eaton.
Being just in the bottom of the sixth, the base hit here makes things a whole lot more interesting. This has not been an overwhelming Atlanta pen.
One and one. Outside. Bizarre game tonight with run scoring in every inning other than the third. Three and one as Eaton hops out of the way.
And Jose Abreu in the on deck circle. Throws him a changeup. Flowers does a nice job of making sure that the 7th run doesn't cross the plate, at least for the moment.
Abreu preparing for a possible bases loaded situation. One more out of the zone would do that, and Flowers wants time. Three balls and a strike for Eaton. 3-2.
That was a pretty good pitch. That one had the outside corner.
He got him swinging out of the zone low. Sox strand 2, 11-6 after 6. Take on the Baltimore Orioles at 7:10 p.m. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Atletico Physical Therapy. Atletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Well, tonight has been rather intriguing. A lot of strange happenings here at the park, including the third triple play turned by the White Sox in 2016, 86 games in.
A beautiful night. Temperatures just where they need to be. A lot of young folks at the ballpark.
The All-Star hats.
Yes, with All-Star colors. Those old San Diego Padre unis.
You know, they kind of look like, if you get one of those tins of popcorn where it's got regular popcorn, caramel corn, and cheese popcorn, split them in threes. That's what those hats kind of look like.
Nice.
Yeah, you see, you got the cheese popcorn on the front on the bill, the caramel corn on the right, the regular popcorn with the white there, and the orange is irrelevant.
A young man will grow into that hat at some time.
There's a swing and a miss, and Ibar is finished off. He is 0 for 4 in the game, the only Atlanta Brave player not to reach.
Sox fans, show your team pride with a White Sox checking and official White Sox MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
One out for Inciarte. Who has doubled and scored. He's grounded out and he struck out. It's a 3-game series leading to the All-Star break. Game number 1 is 2 outs deep in the top of the 7th as Abreu takes care of Inciarte all by his lonesome.
Kind of interesting news out of Minneapolis, and that is that the Twins general manager Terry Ryan said he is open for business, as you would expect with a team that's 30-55. They've won 3 games in a row, but they've got some tradable and movable parts, and a lot of the guys who are up the track now, general managers, they will try to extract the best they can do if they have a desirable player or two to feed teams that are going to be in the race and believe that they've got a chance to get there.
The one piece of disappointing news for the Twins today is that Byron Buxton left the game with a right knee bruise. Game they're leading in Texas 5-4 in the 8th.
Well, unfortunately,
6th, I should say.
Unfortunately for Buxton, it has been an all too familiar refrain for him because physically he's had a hard time staying healthy. And that's been one of the things that has retarded his progress, because he's got wonderful skills.
Two and 1 for d'Arnaud. A little smile on his face. You never know what's being said at home plate between catcher and batter and umpire. There's a cone of trust.
Well, there's some catchers who are very talkative, and they will talk to anybody about anything. Other catchers, and not so much in this era of baseball, but there are some catchers that would never say a thing. They wouldn't talk to you under any circumstances.
Is that right?
Yes. The Mets had one years ago by the name of Jerry Grody, who never would say a word to you. It was irritating. You want to be gregarious.
Or at the very least, gregarious.
Indeed.
Frazier, long throw in time, inning over. 1-2-3 inning for the Sox. Dan Jennings, stretch time. Sox need 5. and maybe your face in lights too. In an upcoming White Sox game, celebrate a birthday, anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. To book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard. You can also at whitesox.com vote for your picks to click. Now, a new feature of our broadcast.
And we'll see if the fans actually come out on top, which is a distinct possibility.
Oh, that is. The fans did not come out on top there in the Hawaiian shirt department.
No, but that's the all-star colors.
Yeah, that's a very Padres Hawaiian shirt, or as they call them in Hawaii, the Aloha shirt.
It was my high school colors.
Really?
Brown and gold.
At Brush?
Yeah, they were horrible. Very bad-looking uniforms.
I'm sure they're updated now.
I would hope so.
When we were in Houston, you look around and a lot of people have the updated Astros gear with the navy blue and the orange, but there is still some of those vintage 70s game show set Astros jerseys.
The rainbow jerseys.
Yes. There they are. I don't think the Astros are playing here tonight.
Ooh, that one off the foot of Abreu. Right off the shin on the left leg. He's going to be feeling that for a while. No, the Astros are entertaining the Oaklands in Houston. Currently winning that one 6-4 in the bottom of the 7th.
And Abreu gets hit. That has become a theme this 2016 season.
Fortunately, that was a changeup, and probably not going to bother him as much as a fastball right in on the bicep. But Jose hit for the 9th time. Never a great thing to be at or atop the league in that department. That one getting the elbow. There's some guys that just don't feel comfortable wearing any padding on the lead elbow. And Jose is one of those guys.
Melky Cabrera shoots it to right and drops it in past Markakis for the moment, and Melky is saved.
Looked like Ibar tried to push him off the bag, and that's something that you can't do. As it looks like Melky pushed him off as he got up.
Don't cry over spilled Melky.
He was spilled, and Melky doesn't seem to be messing around there. I mean, he likes to have fun, but I don't think he was real happy with the last part of that play as Markakis into the corner. It's off a pretty decent throw. And Melky with the head first dive, he's in easily. And then you see Ibar leaning on him.
Long fly ball center field. Ciarte is there. Frazier a sacrifice fly, throw it to third, and Melky cleanly into third base. The Sox are back on the board. It's 11-7 on the sac fly.
Second run batted in for Todd Frazier. He now has 54 of them. This ball is up and down the middle. And he gets enough of it.
Boy, that ball Melky hit looked initially like it was just going to be a single, and that kept running away from Markakis, forcing him deeper to right. Melky ends up with the extra base. Abreu on to third. Now Melky to third after the sac fly, and the Sox with another chance to get a run as Laurie takes a ball. Outside again, 2-0 on Laurie.
But the happiest man in the ballpark to see Whistler out of this ball game, because he wasn't picking up the ball at all. Whistler went 5, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits with a walk and 6 strikeouts. 3 of them Brett.
He's consistent, 3-0, all in the same spot.
Zach Duke starting to loosen in the pen.
There's a strike, 3-1 on Laurie.
So both bullpens up and going.
Sox verging on one more run, trying to get them home. 3-2.
Chris Withrow throwing in the pen.
3-2. Down low, Laurie lays off. Runners at the corners, 1 out of the 7th inning.
And it appears that that is going to be it for De La Cruz. Withrow coming in. De La Cruz makes his exit. We'll step out and be back after these messages.
White Sox seats. Get the StubHub app. We take the price and location of seats and show you which tickets at StubHub give you the best deals. So get the StubHub app today. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox.
And our Hyundai call to the pen is Chris Withrow, whose dad pitched in the White Sox organization. 2-0 on for the 30th time. ERA 3.91. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Left-handers have hurt him. He's gotten the right-handers out. He's given up the 3 home runs. He inherits runners at the corners. And Deanna Navarro recasting for Annie.
Well, the sun's going to come up tomorrow, but the Sox hope that it happens maybe this half inning. 2 on, 1 out. And Navarro, who is 0 for 3, standing in. Big rip at 94, 0-1. This was a 1-1 game after 1. Sox led 4-3 after 2. Then in the 4th, the Braves tied it at 4, got 4 more in the top of the 5th, and have led since. As Laurie swan dives back into first.
It's 7 out of 10 in stolen bases. Sox have swiped a pair on a double steal by Anderson and Eaton.
That was in the 3-run second inning. Called a strike, 0-2 on Navarro. Carlos Sanchez is next. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times this evening.
Withrow knowing that the 0-2 pitch, usually a very good pitch to run. Holding Laurie close.
Navarro cracks it foul on 0-2.
Initially, Withrow was highly thought of. The Dodgers picked him in the first round, 20th pick overall in 2007. Got $1,350,000.
One and two. Navarro pokes it foul, staying alive on a breaking ball.
He got a rolling breaking ball right over the middle of the plate. Withrow is lucky to get away with this one. That one just sitting there. But a foul ball.
One ball, 2 strikes. Laurie at first, Cabrera at third, and another throw on Laurie, with Chris Withrow having allowed 38% of inherited runners to score this year. 6 out of 16, trying to keep the Sox right here in a much more comfortable 4-run deficit for the Braves against the Sox. Just missed.
Just off the outside corner. Good eye by Navarro. Call by Dale Scott.
Two and two. Pitch number 7. Got him swinging. 2 down.
He went back to the curveball, and that was a good one. Kept it out away. Got swung over the top. Highway robbery on Carlos Sanchez last time up. That was last inning as Enciarte made a great running grab.
Yeah, Enciarte had it played in left center. Sanchez crushed the ball to right center field, and Enciarte busted it over there to make the catch. Sox trying to mount a comeback here in the 7th. 2 down, runners at first and third. Strike one. Sanchez, a .258 hitter with AAA Charlotte. He is 5 out of 30 here with the White Sox in 2 stints in 2016. Way inside. Ball and a strike. Almost hit him again. 2-1 on Sanchez from Withrow, who was scored on a couple of days ago, breaking a 10-game scoreless streak. He did blow the save in that game against the Phillies on the road before the quick stop at Wrigley Field yesterday for a game that was rained out earlier in the year. They made that up yesterday with a rain delay embedded. 2-1 to Sanchez. Tip foul.
Well, that one got a piece of Dale Scott. I mean, that one rocked him back on his heels, and he's going to feel the effects of that one for a bit. It's a slider. Now it's right. Gets off the left shoulder, and he stumbled back. Flowers holding him up and then going out to talk with Withrow to give Dale a chance. He's going to feel that one for a while.
And not a whole lot you can do as an umpire there. Number one, to get out of the way, and number two, to make yourself feel any better than he does right now. Laurie at first, Cabrera at third, 2 out, 7th inning. Sanchez hits it in the air, right field. Nick Markakis camps for the 3rd out. Sox get a run, but strand 2 for the 2nd straight inning, 7 deep. It's 11-7 Atlanta.
For the 43rd time, he's 2-0. His ERA 2.83 and sinking. Left-handers have hit him to a 300 clip. Right-handers just 167.
Zach Duke on the hill. Steve Stone used to be on the hill. We quiz you on your own career. How'd you do against Henry Aaron in tonight's edition of Sticks and Stones?
I happen to know this one.
You do?
Yes. It's either 1 for 13 or 14. That one was a 3-2 slider that he dumped down the left field line in Candlestick Park. I can still see it. that was the lone hit.
Did you know at that point that he was over against you?
Well, that was very early.
Oh, okay.
He went over later on, but that was really early. And then, for some reason, I had his number.
What do you think that reason was?
I had to get somebody out to stay around.
Well, come on now. I mean, we're talking a Hall of Famer here.
Well,
we'll see the numbers, but
he was a right-hand hitter. I spent a great deal of my time facing him in the early days when I actually had a pretty good fastball. And I think what happens to a lot of guys, Hall of Fame type guys who are not sure of a young pitcher who threw very hard but had suspect control, and they just, they weren't quite sure against the veterans. They knew they were going to throw it in the zone. But young kids, they didn't really know.
Quick work of Beckham from Duke. One away, and here are those numbers against Hank Aaron for Steve Stone. 1 for 8.
That's it.
Is what Aaron did. 11 plate appearances. You walked him a couple times.
Yeah, well, wanted to pitch around him.
Why? You got him out all the time. You just saw it.
I know, but that's, occasionally, that's like the one that I knew out of all of these. Only I thought I had faced him many more times than that. But he went on to have a pretty decent career.
You think so?
just a little bit.
1-0 from Duke is inside. 2-0 for Freddie Freeman. Why do you know that one and not what sticks out about you and Hank Aaron?
He was talking about
shattered bat
that
into
base hit
center.
to center field. He was talking about. No, he was being interviewed on a Game of the Week by, at the time, Tim McCarver, who was doing the broadcast. And Tim McCarver asked him who was the toughest guy he ever faced. And he mentioned my name. And I was shocked because he had faced all the greats. He faced Drysdale, and he faced Gibson, and he faced Marichal and Perry, a number of others. And I remember Tim McCarver saying, somewhere in this great country of ours, Steve Stone is sitting back smoking a cigar with a big smile on his face. He was wrong. Everything about what he said was right, except I was in Canada. I was in Montreal at the time, sitting back, smoking a cigar, which you could do in your hotel rooms in those days, with a big smile on my face. And McCarver was incredulous. He goes, wait a second. You're telling me, and he rattled down all these Hall of Fame pitchers, you're telling me that he was the toughest guy you ever faced? And Hank Aaron said, yeah. He said, I can't remember getting a hit off him. I said, well, you got one, Hank. So that was that.
If only you could have faced him a couple more times. And another foul ball.
This one off.
It's Navarro this time.
He's not real happy with that, as catchers have a tendency to be. Because he's sitting around minding his own business, and then one of those. You okay? Sure, I'm great, Dale.
How'd it feel
Thanks.
when you took one?
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. This one bounces away from Navarro, and Freeman up to second. Last thing you want to do after you get hit is have chase one down to the backstop.
And this will go as a wild pitch, breaking ball in the dirt.
So runner in scoring position off the wild pitch. It is 1-2 on Markakis.
Michael Inoa throwing in the bullpen.
Sox have used 3 relievers tonight. Beck, Jennings, and Duke in back of Sale, who gave up 8 in 5 innings. Just missed.
Despite the fact that left-handers hitting over 300 against Zach Duke and right-handers hitting 167, there is a weighted on-base percentage, and I believe you can make a case for him throwing better to left-handers than right-handers, although for the life of me, I cannot figure that out.
There's strike 3. 2 out. Weighted on base average is an attempt to strengthen on base percentage. So it creates a weighting system for walks and singles and doubles and triples and homers. So it gives more credence to extra base hits via an on-base percentage, and then it's brought back to the on-base percentage baseline. So they look like on-base percentages, but they're called weighted on-base average. Intentional walks are much easier to explain. You throw 4 times out of the strike zone, and then the guy goes to first.
Now I understand.
Now you understand the intentional walk, or the weighted on base average.
Oh, the weighted on base average. I couldn't wait for that.
Well, the weighted is the hardest part. Here comes ball 4, thankfully. And 2 on with 2 out for Adonis Garcia, who is 4 for 4 in this evening's festivities. Single to center, double to left, single to shortstop. The anatomy of a 4-hit night for Adonis Garcia. Strikeout single, strikeout intentional walk is this 8th inning so far. It's outside, 2 balls, no strikes on Garcia. Thanks for joining us on the main channel on Comcast Sportsnet Chicago. After the final of Cubs and Pirates, Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you wherever you may be. Sox are trailing 11-7. As this ball is smacked to center, J.B. Shuck in his tracks for the final out of the top of the 8th inning. Braves threaten, cannot push any across. And the Sox to the bat rack, down 4 in a wild one tonight. Thanks, Chuck. Here we are, bottom 8. 11-7 Atlanta with the lead. The Sox have J.B. Shuck, Tim Anderson, Adam Eaton scheduled. As the Sox have a run in the first, 3 in the second, a selfie in the 5th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. And J.B. Shuck to lead off. Breaking ball called a strike.
Garcia in close enough at third in case JB tries to lay it down, but he doesn't bunt too often.
Oh, and 2. Well, he lobbed a ball to right center field, very, very short right center field, essentially extended second base in the second inning that fell silently to the turf for an RBI double. The Sox were really revving it up at that point. They scored 3 in the second inning, but Atlanta scored a couple innings later to tie the game with a home run from Markakis, then 4 more in the 5th. And the Braves have led since then. 1:10 tomorrow, 1:10 Sunday before the All-Star break, and before a road trip to the West Coast to play the Angels and the Mariners before the Sox return home for the Tigers, then the Cubs in late July. That shoves JB off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sox had some chances the last 2 innings with 2 on, 2 out in the 6th, 2 on, 1 out in the 7th. Yanked foul by Shuck. Mentioned Cleveland has already won today 10-2 over the Yankees, so currently the Sox are 7.5 back. With a comeback win, they would be 7 back. With a loss, they would be 8 back. The Royals were comeback winners last night against the Mariners. Couldn't do it today, falling 3-2. Shuck, big chopper towards second. JB is out on a nice play from Eric Ibar. Here's your update on picks to click tonight. You, the fans, have selected Tim Anderson, who was 1 for 4 with a run before this upcoming at bat. Abreu 1 for 2, Eaton 2 for 3, Homer 2 RBIs, Sanchez 1 for 4, double and a run. Boy, the offense looks very similar. You pair them all up, everybody's done something offensively. Anderson turned the triple play, though.
It might look similar to you, Kimosabi, but that's really not all that similar.
Well, everybody was involved in a scoring play, at least.
Yes.
I'm doing a new portmanteau. It's called fandering. That's where you pander to the fans.
But our Dave Ross says that this is a blowout.
He said that to you?
Yeah, you lose. Everybody loses.
I don't think Dave said that to you. I don't know what goes on in your headset, but I don't think he said that to you.
Something like that.
Dave just told me he said you're leading.
Oh, it sounded to me like it's a blowout.
Touch foul. 1 and 2 for Anderson. Tim looking for another multi-hit game. That would be 13 and 26 to start his White Sox career. He currently has a cowboy hat on the video board, this being country music night. Up high, 2 and 2 for Anderson. There's Tim in the cowboy hat. Good work. He's got a chance to pull it off.
It's a good look.
Two and 2. Tip to Withrow, who decides to go underhand, and a banking turn has Anderson late. 2 out.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. The third in the trifecta of triple play. This one just 6-3. The trap, the tag, the step, the throw to first. All wrapped into one neat package.
Well, I mean, he's used to doling out assists. He's a basketball state champion point guard. That's exactly it. You drive and kick, right? You take it down the lane and you deal it off when you need to. That was the baseball equivalent of drive and kick.
Yeah, that one I played.
What?
It's called drive and shoot.
You were a black hole playing basketball, weren't you?
No assists.
Bodes well for a cohesive booth. 11-7 after 8 tonight.
Love Chicago sports trivia? Watch CSN on Sunday night for a brand new episode of Beer Money, presented by Coors Light. Watch contestants test their sports knowledge and try to win big. That's Sunday night at 7 on CSN Chicago. Michael Inoa comes in the ball game on for the 7th time. Doesn't have a record, does have a .491 ERA. And there you look at all of the requisite numbers.
Called ball 1 to Tyler Flowers, who's had a magnificent night. 2-run homer, double, 3 knocked in. Well, we've learned during this homestand that you threw 100 miles an hour when you're coming up through the Giants system initially. We're starting to learn about your burgeoning basketball career as well. Then we had to take that break.
It was nipped in the bud.
It was?
Yes.
By your knowledge of the playbook or what?
Well, that's essentially what happened. As a young player with a very structured offense, one unfortunately that I didn't know more than 4 different moves into this offense, and so the ball came back to me in the left corner, and I didn't know where to throw it after that, so I shot 8 straight times and missed badly all 8 of them, and I was summarily benched because I didn't know the offense and just threw it up there.
Well, to be fair, you knew a portion of the play.
Just 4 different parts of it, and then the 5th, 6th, and 7th eluded me, so I shot it, and see you later. That was pretty much the end of my basketball career, which was a good thing.
So 2-2 on Flowers, and a high fly ball, center field. J.B. Shuck cancels out Tyler Flowers to start the 9th.
Time now for a White Sox upcoming schedule, brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. So you see 2 more here with the Braves, and then the All-Star break. Then it's off to the West Coast with 3 against the Angels. The All-Star game on Tuesday. Todd Frazier will be there defending his home run title.
He was the champion at his home ballpark last year. Oh my goodness, another behind home plate bombardment with a foul ball. Navarro just looks resigned to defeat at this point.
So all you can do is sit back there and absorb the beating because there's no place you can go and somebody's got to catch it.
Two strikes for Ibar, who is 0 for 4 tonight. He has not been invited to the Braves offensive party this evening. Foul.
Young fan. And now a young fan with a souvenir.
Young fan who was not in his seat.
Oh, but pretty exciting.
It's a long run for that souvenir. Where did he go?
He's going into left field to play. He's got a ball and his glove.
You know, as he was running, I was like, how many sections have that many rows in this ballpark? And back to the fam. Two strikes for Ibar from Inoa. Michael Inoa after Beck, Jennings, Duke, the triumvirate following Sale into the game. Chris, 5 innings, 10 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. There's a breaking ball, strike 3. Inoa disposes of Ibar, who struck out 4 times tonight. Baseball's 2 biggest summer events are back. They're back-to-back. The Home Run Derby, July 11th, 7 p.m. Central. The very next night, baseball's biggest stars at the 87th All-Star Game, July 12th. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Todd Frazier in the Home Run Derby. Chris Sale in the All-Star Game. Wrap to second, Carlos Sanchez completes a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Inoa. Sox have 3 outs to get 4 runs. They trailed 11-7 with Abreu leading it off.
Has a pretty good fastball. He also has a 1.80 ERA on for the 7th time. And it's up to him to protect what has been built into a 4-run lead.
Chris Withrow was very good out of the bullpen. He went an inning and 2/3 and quieted a game that had gotten rather rambunctious very quickly. 1 2/3 and a strikeout. He allowed only 1 ball out of the infield as the Sox need quite the comeback here in the 9th against Cabrera. It'll be Abreu, Melky Cabrera, and Todd Frazier in this 9th inning.
Cabrera has been clocked at 103 miles an hour, just like Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, watch the radar gun tonight and watch your head. Want to know on Abreu from Cabrera. That can't be fun for a hitter to watch 2 climb up and in at 100.
And one of the things I told you before is that established hitters don't like young pitchers that they've never seen and don't know if they're going to get the ball over the plate. It's not a really comfortable situation as Cabrera buzzes one up and in.
Ball 3. A little wildness wouldn't hurt.
No, a few walks would be awfully nice.
Green light. 99, 3-1. Well, if you're Cabrera, the idea has to be throw it over the middle of the plate.
Well, that's normally where you want your catcher to set up. I mean, just set up over the middle of the plate and let the natural movement take care of itself.
101.
So I'm sure Flowers is going to do just that.
Three and 2 on Abreu. Climbing up and in at 101. His average fastball, Mauricio Cabrera, coming into this game, 100.3 miles per hour. Average. On the ground through.
That was 102 right back up the middle. It does show you that major league hitters, once having seen the velocity and the movement, can adjust to anything. That fastball is down, too close to take. Jose hits it right back up the middle for his second hit of the night.
First one came in the first inning, and now the Sox inch closer to having the tying run coming up. The tying run currently is in the hole with Brett Lawrie. Big chopper over first. Abreu revs the engine around second for third. Runners at the corners on the third hit tonight for Melky Cabrera.
Melky continues his hot hitting. This one looked like it was hit off a trampoline. Way over the head of Freeman into right field. And Jose all the way to third. Things getting a whole lot more interesting. And the Braves bullpen starting to work. So Roger McDowell out there to talk with Cabrera. Drawing tonight, by the way, $540 million. I did purchase you a ticket.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet, but
No, nor will you, especially if we win.
oh, now it's we, huh? Yeah.
It is we. So McDowell's had his say, and things getting very interesting here in the 9th inning.
First and third, nobody out. Frazier, who homered back in the 5th. In the dirt, slider.
That was probably a good portion of the conversation, was you got to throw something else except a fastball, or these guys are going to hurt you.
One ball count to Frazier with 2 on. Fouled off of Flowers.
Yeah, that went off of Tyler Flowers. That's a fastball. Catches the inside of the left leg, just about the ankle area.
Nerves rising in the ballpark tonight. 11-7 your score. Another buried slider. 2-1.
Jim Johnson throwing in the bullpen for the Braves. Hard to believe that in the illustrious history of the Cincinnati Reds, Todd Frazier is the only Cincinnati Red ever to have at least 26 doubles and 25 home runs the first half of the season, and that was last year. Well, there's been a lot of great players come through there.
He's got 24 homers right now in this first half. On the ground is shortstop. Ibar feeds Beckham, and it is a double play. Soothing the situation for Cabrera. Abreu scores. It's 11-8, but the bases are clear. No RBI for Frazier. Two out, nobody on. Laurie with his hit streak on the line. He's +9 right now. A 9-game hit streak. Slider strike for the first time this inning from Cabrera. Same deal. 0-2. Now good luck with 101 after 2 sliders for strikes. Laurie sneaks it through. The hit streak is alive. So is the rally for the Sox.
Well, he got the 101, and Brett Laurie looking for a fastball the entire at bat. Down to his last strike. Keeps it alive.
How about that placement on 0-2, Steve?
At that velocity, just throw it where you got most of the plate. You got 7 guys behind you, but none of them were standing in the way of that one.
Robbins Club still ticking in this 9th inning in the series opener. Navarro has struck out a pair of times, grounded out, flied out. Laurie is off for second. He will run home if they allow him to.
Indifference.
$100 for strike 1. Sox led this game 4-3 after 3 tonight. Atlanta got a run in the 4th on a home run from Nick Markakis. Then a 3-double inning in the 5th helped bring home 4 runs, and the Braves have led since. Navarro cracks it to left field. Darno sachets back into position to finish off the ball game. The Braves hold on for the series opening win. 11-8 your final score.
Unfortunately, Chris Sale just didn't have it tonight, and the Braves came into town and took the first of a 3-game series, and a quick turnaround, so get your rest.
Will do. See you tomorrow. 1:10 start time for that one. So for our director Jim Angio, producer Mike Leary, associate producer Dave Ross, tech manager Mark Harper, the executive producer is Jim Corno Jr. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti saying so long from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru postgame live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Final score 11-8 Atlanta. Talk to you soon.